Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm actually going to be going over the top 3 cards for beginners who are barely getting into the credit card space. So the reason why I'm recommending only 3 cards is because when I first started, I was overwhelmed looking at different YouTubers telling you what paths to go, what benefits they have. So I want to elaborate on simple cards, that way you can get easily walked into these things. And usually when you easily start getting into it, you start understanding the processes that it takes to understand the methods and the strategies that other people are using. So let's hop into it. Coming in third place, we had the Citi Double Cash. The Citi Double Cash is one of my top 3 cards I recommend to many beginners. The reason being is because it's a 2% flat rate card. Again, a 2% flat rate card, meaning you don't have to worry about any categories. You don't have to worry about when to spend it, what specific months. So I usually push people to use this card when they're barely getting started. And the reason why this one sticks out to me, because it kind of gets you in the space of trying to get familiar with getting into the right financial headspace. Meaning that this card, when you pay, you only get 1% and you get 1% when you pay it off. To me, this is kind of good because it gets you in the mindset to just pay off the card every month. That way you don't get charged interest. Now, again, many people don't see cards that way because they're used to seeing people pay interest on credit cards. Well, in this channel, like I always elaborate, is that we never try to pay interest. So you always try to pay the statement balance in full. That way you never get charged interest and you're kind of getting like a discount on everything you're buying. So let's say if you get $200 in groceries, right? You get 2% discount on that, which is in this card, theoretically, you only get 1% first. And when you pay it off at the end of the month, you get the additional 1% back when you pay it off on your statement balance. Currently with this card, you actually get a $200 sign-on bonus when you spend $1,500 within the first 6 months. Now, again, if you're only going to be in this card, it's really easy to get because literally you can use everything, all your bills, light, water, if they don't charge you a fee for using cards. Basically just anything that you can put your card on. This is where the time to do it, because when you get that sign-on bonus with people who actually have like a house and have to maintain the house, putting everything on this card will be no-brainer. Now, for people who are like in college or try to get on the credit card strategy early, this might be a little bit difficult to reach just simply because of the fact, like I know a lot of college students, especially when I was in college, I didn't spend that much within the school year. So, I mean, if you can, definitely, but don't break your head just to try to make that minimum, because you don't want to put yourself in a spot where you're overspending and can't pay it later. And then we get back into that paying interest to the credit card issuer. So if you can, great. If not, then it's okay. I still use this card to your benefit as much as you can without having to pay interest. Coming in at second place, we had the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Now, the Chase Freedom Unlimited is kind of like a mixture of categories, but also a catch-all card with 1.5%. Now, you may be thinking like, why would I want a 1.5% card when you can get the Double Cash for 2%? Well, where this card actually kicks in is that you can actually get 3% on dining at restaurants, including takeout and eligible delivery services, 3% on drugstore purchases, and 5% on travel purchases through the Chase Travel. Now, for some people, if you really think about it, because I like to think of things logically, is that doesn't that kind of break even in a way? Because let's say you pay 1.5% on gas and you get 2% with the Double Cash, then you kind of win on that space, but then you only get 2% in dining, but you get 3% with the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So you kind of have to see which one will benefit you, but why I'm sticking this one as a second place is because it's a good transition card that can actually be changed to a travel card. So with travel cards, you can actually collect those points, because with Chase, they actually don't give you like the cash back, they give it to you in points. So actually, let me reword that. They do give you cash back, but it's in form of points. But you can transition them into like transfer partners or transfer them over to a card that's eligible. For example, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, that card opens up transfer partners to where you can transfer your Chase Freedom Unlimited points into that card, which then you can then use all the transfer partners. But again, that's going to be in another video that I'm going to explain more in depth of how the Chase Trifecta works. Something I forgot to mention is that the Citi Double Cash and also the Chase Freedom Unlimited allow you to transfer your cash back rewards to external bank accounts. Now this is pretty big because I have other credit cards that do not have these features that I wish they did, because it's kind of annoying to only use cash back, and especially if you were trying to save your money and transfer to a savings account to show that you're actually saving. It's a mind game for me at least, but for many others, like they will just probably get on their statement balance. It is a plus for both these cards, so that's definitely something to benefit when having either one of these cards. Coming in at first place, one of my favorite cards is actually the One Savor. I mentioned this card so many times within my channel. I had a couple of viewers sign up with my referral link, which I do appreciate because all that stuff is going back to this setup, hopefully expanding my YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet, definitely subscribe and always turn on notifications as well. But where this card shines is actually you get 3% cash back on groceries, entertainment, dining, and then 1% on everything else. So to me, I think Capital One hit the nail on the head on this card because you're usually spending more money with groceries or food related stuff. So this card was actually probably like my third or fourth card when I first heard about it or came across it. And I realized how awesome this card is. And if you do plan on getting this card, as always, my referral link is in the description box below. As of now, when you try to apply for the card, you actually get a $200 sign-on bonus when spending a minimum of $500 within the first 3 months. Now, to me, that's super easy to achieve, especially with 3 months. Whether you're a college student or you're a homeowner, $500 within 3 months, like let's just say if you put gas right now, with the rates, how they are going right now. Like for me, I pay over my truck, so it's like, what, 30, 40 bucks every week? Getting $500 within 3 months, that's gonna be cake, especially when if I go out to eat or anything like going out with friends, taking my wife out on a date. That $500 would be a lot easier to achieve than the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Then the Chase Freedom Unlimited, that's requiring you to spend the $1,500. So you pick and choose your battles on this one, but for me, I've always seen like a lot of people get more accepted and approved with the Capital One. Now, for some viewers that are still skeptical about whether to get a credit card or whether or not you're afraid to start like venturing off to see how this stuff works. And believe me, I was one of those. I was always against credit cards. I was taught to not even use credit cards, but trying to get out of your comfort zone, learn how to take advantage of these financial tools to help benefit and save you money on the long run. Now, definitely credit cards are not for everyone. You definitely have to be disciplined. You have to understand like what you're getting into, whether you can afford it, and always try to pay your statement balance in full. I cannot like elaborate on that enough because if you're using credit cards and they're going to be taking interest from you, it just defeats the whole purpose of saving money. Now, for those who are out there saying, well, why would you even get a card in the first place? It's always going to be a headache to understand like, okay, well, what if I don't meet that minimum spend? I get kind of screwed paying the payment. Yes, but this is where like you have to be prepared to know what you're getting into. And I told a lot of my friends or like with my wife when I got her into the credit card space is to understand like, yes, the credit card may say you have $15,000, $20,000 to spend, but in your checking account, you only have $3,000 to $4,000. Like, and you spend like, let's say $7,000 and you only have a couple $1,000s in your checking account. Obviously, then you're going to be paying that payment for a long time. So to be smart with it, just know what you're spending money on. Don't try to overspend and get yourself into financial troubles because this is not what this YouTube channel is about. It's for me to help you understand like to use these tools to save money. Even though the saving money is probably at the end of the month for anyone out there, if it's like 20 bucks, 40 bucks a month, I mean, that's 20 to 40 bucks you didn't have. And a lot of people find it funny. To me, it's gas money. It's more to my savings for a trip. Just try to be responsible. And the reason why I select these 3 cards is because it's very beginner friendly. And coming from what I learned from my personal mistakes, which I would have had gotten first, that's why I gave out this list, because I've got cards that I would not recommend to anyone. They didn't benefit me. It's just, you know, a learning process, and me starting this YouTube channel late makes me kind of regret not documenting the whole way. But now we're here, so hopefully this would help you get on the right path and start training you and slowly start getting you into the space where you can be more financially responsible, understand how the credit card game works, and eventually get into the travel side of things so we can start traveling for free. But until then, let's try to keep things simple and see you on the next one.